Stop uploading reference images for a second, because sometimes that's actually the problem. So if you've been following along with these tutorials, you already know we've spent a good amount of time working with image to video. Honestly, I still love that workflow. Image to video gives you consistency, control, and something to anchor your scenes to.
But here's something I don't think gets talked about enough. Every AI model has strengths, and every AI model has limitations. And sometimes when a video isn't coming out the way you want it, the problem isn't your prompt. The problem isn't your idea. You've just picked the wrong workflow for what you're actually trying to do.
Let me give you a few situations that I think a lot of people run into. Picture this scenario. You've done everything right. You found a reference image that's pretty close to what you want. You uploaded it. You wrote a solid prompt. You hit generate, and the result comes back, and it's just not quite it. Maybe the movement feels off. Maybe the character isn't behaving the way you pictured.
Maybe the model is so focused on staying faithful to the reference image that it's losing the actual vision you had in your head.
And here's the thing, that's not a failure. That's just how reference-based generation works sometimes. Because sometimes a reference image doesn't help the AI. It actually limits it.
Instead of understanding what you're trying to create, it's spending all its energy trying to recreate what it sees.
Those are two completely different things. So now imagine you just remove that constraint entirely.
Instead of showing the AI something to copy, you describe something to create.
And that shift, that small change in approach, is where text-to-video gets really interesting. Because now you're not asking the model to match a visual, you're giving it a direction, and those two things produce very different results. Now, this is especially useful for a few specific types of content that are genuinely hard to pull off with image to video.
Cinematic camera movements, for one. These kinds of movements, when you describe them clearly in a prompt,
you actually get more control than you would trying to coax them out of a reference image. Same goes for more complex action scenes.
The more dynamic the scene, the more a detailed prompt tends to outperform a reference image. Because you're not fighting against what the model sees, you're just telling it exactly what you want. When you're working from a reference, the model is in recreation mode. It's looking at what exists and trying to stay close to it. But when you're working from text, it's in creation mode. It's thinking about the atmosphere, movement, storytelling, the feeling of the scenes.
So instead of producing a version of something that already exists,
you end up with something that didn't exist anywhere before you described it. And that's a genuinely different creative experience. Or maybe, and this one's really specific but really common, you're working with a model like Seedance 2.0.
And because of how it handles uploaded images,
it can't generate exactly what you're going for when you use a reference photo that has a human face in it. But here's the thing, if you just describe a character, the clothing, the hairstyle, the expression, the environment, Seedance can create it beautifully from nothing but the description.
In all of those situations, text-to-video isn't just an option. It's actually the better option. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create cinematic AI videos using nothing but text.
We'll build out the prompts, we'll structure them properly, and then we'll use Seedance 2.0 to bring everything to life.
And once you get comfortable with this workflow, honestly, you'll never feel stuck. Let's get into it.
So here's where everything starts. And honestly, this step matters more than most people give it credit for. Because with text to video, your prompt isn't just an instruction. It's the only creative input the AI has to work with. There's no reference image to fall back on. No uploaded photo to anchor the scene. Everything the model creates, it creates from what you describe. So before we even open VidAU, we need to get the vision out of our heads and into words. And for that, you've got options. ChatGPT works great. Gemini works great. Grok, too. But my personal go-to, especially for video prompts, is the VidAU AI agent. It understands the structure of video generation prompts in a way that general AI tools sometimes don't. Now, when you're describing your scene, don't be vague. The more specific you are, the more control you have over the output. Think about who or what is in the scene. Where are they? What's happening? How is the camera moving? What does the lighting feel like? What's the mood? What's the energy? And then once you've thought all of that through, ask your AI assistant to take everything you've described and turn it into a structured video generation prompt. That prompt is your creative brief. And now we're ready to go build with it. Head over to vidau.ai/home and open AI Video. At the top, you'll see the different generation workflows: image to video, reference to video, and text to video. We want text to video.
For this tutorial, we're working with Seedance 2.0, and there's a specific reason for that.
And Seedance is really good at reading detailed prompts and translating them into something cinematic. It doesn't just execute the words, it interprets the intention behind them, which is exactly what you want when you're working without a reference image.
So now, take the prompt you built in step 1 and paste it in here. Then go through your settings. Choose your aspect ratio, set your resolution, adjust anything else that fits what you're making. And once everything looks good,
This is honestly one of my favorite moments in the whole process.
because you've done the thinking, you've written the vision down, you've set everything up, and now the AI takes over and you just get to watch.
Let's see what it made. And that's what we built. Every single scene in that video started with a blank text box. No reference images, no product photos, no mood board, just a description. And I think that's genuinely what makes text to video different.
So think of it less like choosing between two workflows and more like having two different tools in the same kit. A hammer and a screwdriver aren't competing. You just reach for the right one depending on what you're building. And honestly, the more comfortable you get switching between both, the more capable you become as an AI creator, because you're not locked into one way of working anymore. They'll save you a lot of time figuring things out from scratch. I'm Vivi. I'll see you in the next one.